Good morning, South Anchorage High School. Hey, any of you out there have one of those songs that when it plays, you just got to jam? Like, that happened to me last night. We did What Does a Fox Say came on, and I was jumping around the house like an idiot, even more of an idiot than I look like on here sometimes. And then we had to play, Gangnam Style, which was pretty awesome. My 16-year-old looked like they thought I belonged in a mental institution, but I'd get that look a lot from them. So we're kind of okay with it. But, that song at the beginning, I really dig that jam. I like what that does. It gets me kind of moving and grooving and ready to see all you folks. And speaking of all you folks watching at wolverineden.org, sending your questions to southvote.com, all of which are being thrown into the chat right now. We really dig it, and we appreciate that you're joining us again at this moment. So out there, while you're out there watching, if you would, slam into the chat, and if you're watching the archive, slam it into the comments if you would. What song gets you moving? What song it comes on and you can't help yourself? You could be listening to an AirPod in class, trying to hide it in your sleeve, and that song comes on, and you just notice that you're like, you just start moving and grooving, except you haven't had to hide your AirPods lately because you just turn your camera off. But hey, welcome to the crew. Welcome, crew. Good to see you. Everybody's here, cheerful, wondering, everything else. We kind of went over it earlier in the early show. Those of you that want to catch up on it, all you got to do is go to the DENAK.org, and you can see what all these beautiful people right here chose as the songs that make them move without voluntarily jumping in on it. So go ahead and check that out over at thedenAK.org. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Dr. Allman, the captain of the ship, the leader of this fire team, the Sherpa for the kill. I'm stretching that too far. It's just not working. What's going on in the South world from the ideals of Dr. Allman?
I think, the light is at the end of the tunnel for first semester, which, at least to me personally, feels like an accomplishment. So I hope everyone shares that, because I think right now we can sort of conceptualize that we only really have 5 in-person school days, so Zoom days, and one more asynchronous day, and then hopefully everyone can really take some time off, connect with those people in your bubble, connect virtually with those people not in your bubble, be really careful about mitigation strategies, because it's all going to be really important in getting us back second semester. We are also planning for some select in-person return. That's primarily going to be for students who need to do credit recovery, so that's in the planning process. And at the same time, also anticipating what might happen fourth quarter. So fourth quarter right now, to the best of my understanding, is when we might get you all back in a larger number. So there's lots of conversations going on about what that looks like. And that also includes potential for vaccines. And I think that's the other thing we're all paying really close attention to, is how quickly can we get vaccines? How quickly can we get vaccinated and then feel a little bit more safe about being around people and being able to kind of reestablish some of those social connections that we value so much. So all of the things that have been going on are still going on. So, but becoming a little bit more certain by the day.
And remembering that light at the end of the tunnel, everybody, it doesn't mean we go jump off the cliff without our bungee cord, guys. So if you were to say, if we were, let's skip backwards in time a little bit, say, hey, we're going to put these things in your car. They're going to protect you from crashing. We call them seat belts. And pretty soon they're going to be in your car. You know what? In fact, they're going to be in your car next month. What we don't do is we don't then get in our car before we get the seatbelt and drive into a wall just to celebrate. Let's not do that. No driving into walls, folks. So kicking it there, we do have some questions from our loyal audience out there in the wide world of wolverineden.org. I think Clara's got some questions for you, Dr. Allman. She's going to throw that right out right now.
Sure.
Was it not Clara that was going to do that?
It was Ben. Does Ben want to do it?
Ben's going to do that. I'm sorry. You didn't put your names on the spreadsheet like I said. Ben, go for it, Ben.
All right. We actually have quite a few questions, so we'll jump into it. Will any music classes get to go in person and practice together in the foreseeable future?
It's possible. There's 2 things to consider there, though. Number one is how many students would we have who are interested in doing that, and then which teachers are interested in hosting it. That's one part. Second part is mitigation plan. There's a mitigation plan that existed before we did the hunker down, so I would assume that would come back, and then we would have to figure out when. So I'm inclined to say that it's possible, mid third quarter, but I don't know if it would be part of the class day in person. But that doesn't mean we couldn't consider, once activities are open back up, being able to come here and use the space at South to do some music related activities.
Yeah, we got to figure it out. But one thing we always got to remember, right? There's a whole lot of blowing in music, right? And there's just stuff going through and being shaped and belled out and all kinds of things like that. So I bet in the distance thing is going to be a big part of that when it comes down to it. Can we put masks on the bells of saxophones? I mean, I never really thought about that. What do you like a mute cloth? Like they put the little plungers in the trumpets, right? And if you just stuck like a cotton ball where the stick would normally be, would that do it? I don't know. It's just something to think about. I don't know.
We just found our next $1 million idea in the age of COVID. Filters or the output of horns.
Hey, right here. Remember that, because I don't have a retirement. All right, so what's next, Ben?
If we are a senior and we already submitted a senior portrait, do we have to still submit a selfie photo for virtual picture day?
Wow.
No. Yeah,
Cool.
That's short answer, right? Because your senior portrait is what will go in the yearbook for your mugshot, for lack of a better way of explaining that. If you didn't submit a photo that was taken professionally, then your mugshot selfie is what will go there. It's going to be an interesting yearbook, so make sure you buy one because it will not look the same as normal yearbooks.
Yeah, that's crazy. That I can't even imagine what it's going to look like. It's like activities. It's a picture of like someone actually takes a picture of their screen, like playing World of Warcraft with friends they would normally see, or like a picture of like a Zoom meeting from their couch. I don't know. It's gonna be some interesting stuff. I think they're gonna find out here. Gym class. It's like a picture of you on your couch with a bowl of Cheetos. Like, right, this is my gym class. I'm doing curls, cheese curls. All right, there it is. All right, what's next, Ben? You guys are supposed to laugh at these jokes.
Which items from Jostens are essential for graduation, and which ones are just add-ons or personal preference?
Cap, gown, and the gown should come with a stole, and then the tassel should come with your cap. So just the cap and gown are what you need for participation in graduation.
Cool.
Everything else is extraneous.
Cool. Next.
Will there be a few available days to walk the school to find our classes if we go back fourth quarter?
Really good question. No matter what, there will be kind of a 2-week lead up to the return once we decide, yes, we're going back. And I am confident that part of the second week of that 2-week run up will involve some groups coming here to walk their schedule. That will be primarily freshmen first, and then everyone else after, because most of you have navigated the building if you are a sophomore and above. And then we would also certainly consider any students who are brand new to South but not a freshman, so that they can familiarize themselves with the space.
You know, it'd be super fun, and I know this is one of my whacked out things that no one should really listen to, but you know, it'd be super fun. It'd be super fun to get some folks in here and walk to different hallways while being recorded, and like follow them with a dolly, and then take and post those videos from each hallway to another hallway, and have a QR code so someone could throw their phone up and like scan it. Like the sign says, get to upper H from here, scan it, and they're like, hey, everybody, just follow me, and we could just follow them to like the next class. It'd be beautiful. I mean, we could just do it to hallways. You wouldn't have to do it to specific room numbers, but I'm just saying, like, how cool would that be? Let's get on that. Peyton, you have to lead that, so make that happen by Friday. That'll be good. What's next on the list?
Okay, one more question. How does SOBOS work, and will it be happening this year? This might be a question for Elliot, too.
I'll give the admin answer. Elliot can give the student answer. We had this conversation yesterday kind of at length about planning for it, as well as other events. We're planning. You can be confident of that. The current plan is to put as much mitigation in place as possible so that if and when the hunker down is lifted, and if we return at the beginning of fourth quarter and we're allowed to get larger groups together, that we have a plan to meet any of those needs. So that group is planning. I could be 100% confident it would be outside like graduation is going to be outside if we can have it. And the last thing I would say is the biggest challenge is social distancing, right? I mean, it's a big group of people, even the competitions, sometimes you have to get kind of close. So we have to rethink some of those things, but it's not out of the question.
We could have egg toss, which is good and socially distanced. And then we could have turkey egg toss. And then we could have ostrich egg toss. And then we could have, like, mooseberry toss. And all those are socially distanced. So we're easy. We just throw things at each other. Like, it's just going to be beautiful. All right, good. All right, sorry. I just ostrich egg toss. Sorry, that's good. Have you seen an ostrich egg? They're big. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, too bad we don't have dinosaur eggs. We could just go get some fossilized rocks. Like just throw them at each other. Dinosaur egg toss. All right, cool. So that kind of hits it. And I got to tell you, for all the questions that we've had, and we've had a lot of them here on the Den at wolverineden.org, of all the questions we've had, those were the easiest to answer all year. Like, there was none of this, like, we don't really know because the world's on fire. No, we were able to say, no, you don't have to put another picture in. It's okay. It's done. We're good. Like, that's nice. That was a good day, everybody. Good. So that's good. We're going to kick it over to Bria, who's got some info. Speaking of graduation, caps and gowns and stoles and tassels and all that, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, so for all you seniors out there, pay attention because the last day to order your caps and gowns and stoles and tassels and blah, 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 blah is this Friday, December 11th. And you don't want to be that kid who doesn't have anything and can't walk because that'll just be embarrassing. So go get your stuff. It's graduation. We've waited so long for this moment. So go order your stuff. The link's getting thrown in the chat right now. So yeah, get on that by this Friday, December 11th, or else you won't have it. And that's just really sad.
Are you all paying attention, people? You really need to pay attention. Did you just see that? Like, that was rockin' anchor performance right there. I'm pretty sure that if you're a news agency out there, you need to be contacting Bria right now and saying, hey, we want you behind the anchor desk because that was rockin'. Great job, Bria. We appreciate that information. And speaking of rockin', she's also a great reporter. In fact, Bria, why don't you tell us a little bit about the report you just did, the interview you just did, and give us a brief overview, and then Peyton's going to do a great job of throwing the link to the full interview into the chat.
Okay, so I did an interview with a marketing strategist from GCI, and we basically just discussed how they've been working during the COVID times and how things have changed for them. And then we dove into how they've been doing new developments and putting out new things for our community and their loyal customers. And it's really exciting with what they're rolling out. They've been working really hard during these times, and they're doing a really great job to make sure we can all stay connected with their new services.
And what's one of the things they're rolling out?
So they're doing this thing called Yukon TV, and it's essentially just like a streaming service, kind of like all the other ones. But theirs is going to be really personalized to GCI customers, and it's going to be really cool, and I'm very excited.
And we can learn more about that in that interview, correct?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
And then that interview is in the chat right now, right, Peyton? And
you can bet it.
Thank you. You folks at home can click on that, pause it, and then come back to this show and watch this show. And then what's really cool is Clara also went out there and got another view of kind of like what's happening in Anchorage from a perspective of a small business owner. And Clara, do you want to hit that a little bit and tell us what's up?
Yeah, so I talked to the owner of Uncle Joe's Pizzeria, a local pizza joint, best pizza in town. And we basically talked about how the new shutdown and how the spring shutdown has affected his business and how it's comparing to other businesses. We talked about how important it is to help small businesses right now by ordering from them if you have the means and just generally supporting them in, of course, the mask and socially distanced fashion.
That is fantastic. And I'm going to be a little bit selfish here right now because there's a thing about Uncle Joe's. So I'm a fat guy, everybody. Time to come out with that. Hi, everybody. My name's Lee Butterfield, and I'm a foodaholic. And I got to tell you that, like, I've worked really hard this year to be a good boy, and I've done very well. But my weakness forever, and these guys have heard it way too many times for their own good, my weakness is Uncle Joe's Pizza. It is like the one thing that I like suffer every time I have to drive by it on the way home every day, and I look at it and a tear comes to my eye, and I don't know what hits my knee first, if it's the tear or the drool coming out of my mouth. But I got to tell you, like, my birthday and like my cheat day, it's always Uncle Joe's. And when we do get back to school, especially up here at South, I want to push this, and we were not at Uncle Joe's Pizza is not sponsoring this video on YouTube, nor do they sponsor The Den. And so this is the opinions expressed by me and my belly are not the opinions of South Anchorage High School, the Den, or the people of the Den. But I got to tell you, their lunch special during the weekdays is like primo. If you have never been there for our lunch special, so when we're able to go back in there, I'm telling you, South, like, you have to go check it out. I go in there on the days that there is no school with all my children, and we get enough food to feed an army, and we have a blast. And I spend less than $20 because it's all just those lunch specials, and we eat like kings. It is amazing. So check out that lunch special over there. It's pretty cool, and that is a total selfish thing. But if you are watching Mr. Joe White, I just plugged that pretty hard. So next time I come in, I want an extra slice. All right, so going over, we got virtual picture day coming up. We kind of mentioned it in the questions that were coming up earlier, but there's some info that we need to know about that, and because I don't know who's supposed to be speaking to it, who's speaking to that? Oh, none of you are going to speak to it. So virtual picture day, those pictures are due on the 17th. Today is the 9th, so you have 8 days to get that done, get that in. So that would be, I think that translates into next Thursday, last day of class for you people, doesn't it? Ooh. Right? Did you just hear that right? 8 days till last day of class for first semester. So it's pretty exciting. So there we go. And then we got some student government stuff coming up for next week, because next week is a fun week because you just have a few more days of class. Let's make it happen. Elliot, what's happening from the student government side that these folks are going to be helping us out with?
The last week of the school year, which is next week, we want to end this core semester with a bang. We're going to have a spirit week, send us into the holiday season the right way. So we're going to start out with Merry Monday, which is wear red or green, or both if you're feeling really fancy. Wear whatever you want as long as it's red or green. We're going to have Snowed In Tuesday, so we're already at home. Let's be real. We're all wearing pajamas to class, so you might as well show it to everybody. Like, hey, these are my pajamas. This is what I'm wearing to class. So turn on your cameras, show everyone your pajamas on Tuesday. And Wednesday, sleep in, have a great time, watch The Den on Wednesday. And Thursday, we have festive sweaters. So get out your most festive holiday sweaters and wear them with pride to your last day of finals and your last day of class.
That is fantastic. A couple caveats I think we need to throw in there, Elliot, and I think that's okay. You can wear whatever you want, red and green, on that day for Merry Monday. Just make sure that whatever it is you want to wear are clothing. That would be a good thing. And then when you're wearing your pajamas, make sure you're wearing pajamas, not just what you sleep in, because if you're sleeping in nothing, I don't want to see it. But I will say that I've had some interesting mornings when someone turns on their Zoom camera and they're like this on a pillow, not even leaving bed yet, and it's 11:40. And I was going to say, like, you guys are like old hat at this pajama party thing with the whole Zoom space. So now you just get to show everybody. So that's pretty exciting. My sweater's going to wreck everyone else's sweater. Ha, 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 ha. Nice try. We'll see. No. I get it. It's me. All right, fantastic. Thank you very much, Elliot. And then keeping with the Christmas spirit, we have one movie available for people to see this weekend because we wanted to have a special movie for people to see this weekend. We wanted it to be one that you didn't have to think about which one you want to take time to go see. So we have one of the most special movies showing this weekend. And this time it is Clara who's going to tell us about it because Clara put her name into show prep, and so we knew it was her turn.
Okay, so this week we have just one movie showing. It is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation this Friday at 9 p.m. That's the 11th. As always, it's $25 a car, and you can get tickets at popupdriveink.com, which somebody's throwing into the chat. And this month, 10% of our proceeds will be going to Awake, which is Abused Women's Aid in Crisis. It is a hotline shelter program with a bunch of other resources for women victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. They have support groups in legal advocacy, special programs for Native women, and that's where a percentage of our proceeds are going to this month.
And again, because I run the buttons, I want to pop in there and say that I'm super proud because it was you, our viewers, and the folks that are working with our crew over at SAHS The Den on the Instagrammatarian. It was you. You guys voted. You guys decided, hey, look, these are the people we want to help out. These are the people we want to support. You chose a great group, and I want to say thank you to you because it was you guys in the Den crew that that decided some of the choices that we got to make, and you chose some really cool things. And you're amazing human beings. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I am blown away by the future of our country every single time. That's my favorite part about teaching, because I got to tell you, my generation, we're scum. You guys are amazing, and I dig it, and it gives me so much like hope for the world in the future. And you're like, man, way to make that mantle a little bit heavier, Butterfield. Now we're carrying all your hopes and dreams. Yes, you are. Don't fail me. And so it's a pretty big deal. So for the good of the order, what do we got? Anyone got something for the good of the order? Dr. Allman, anything for the good of the order?
Say just hang in there for the next week and a half, and then we all get to take a deep breath and get some extra sleep. So that's what's on my mind.
Yeah, I mean, how are you guys doing prepping for finals? You ready to rock and roll, or are you a little bit timid, or is it a little mix of both? Or is it like, I've forgotten about all of it because now I'm going to be done in a week? Like where are you at emotionally right now, like at this moment? Oh, celebratory, yeah. Yeah, celebratory. And spirit fingers next week, everybody. Let's get your spirit fingers ready because it's Spirit Week. Thank you all for joining us out there in TV land. We really appreciate every time you come in and show us your support. If you're watching on the archive, we appreciate that too. We think you're just as important as everyone who's watching live. Remember that you can throw questions to Dr. Allman and the rest of the crew at southvote.com. And remember to get your tickets at popupdriveink.org, popupdriveink.org. You are supporting good causes, and you're supporting some stuff coming into the school too that hopefully in a couple weeks we'll be able to announce what that is, or maybe when we get back from break on some of the things that you going out and enjoying yourself are building for us here at the school, and what we are able to offer as a school and the learning experiences that we can give you. So awesome that you are with us. So awesome that you are hanging out every week, and so awesome that you are you. Call your friends, call your siblings, call your family, tell them you love them. As always, keep your claws. Keep your sharp claws. No, keep your claws sharp, Wolverines.